So welcome to another Chris show. Make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell so as soon as I drop these updates, you can like and participate in the comments section. So in my last video, I talked about the autopsy of George Floyd and how it was ruled a homicide, and I was talking about how the other officers still haven't been charged at that moment, and Derek Chauvin still is having third-degree murder. But as of Wednesday, June 3rd, Derek Chauvin has been upgraded from a third-degree murder to a second-degree murder, and all other three officers have been arrested. The other three officers are charged with aiding and abetting with a murder. And that means they're liable to be charged up to what Derek Chauvin is. Because in Minnesota law, instead of me summarizing, let me just read it for you. Because in Minnesota law, a person is criminally liable for a crime committed by another if the person intentionally aids, advises, hires, counsels, or conspires with, or otherwise procures the other to commit the crime. So that means those other three officers are potentially going to get the same sentencing that Derek Chauvin will be getting. So when I first started talking about George Floyd and about all these updates, I talked about how isn't this a second-degree murder? When you have someone on their knee for over 8 minutes, you can't tell me that's accidental. Accidental if it was 1 minute and he's like, oh, my bad, bro, and took off his knee, and then it accidentally happened, he passed. But for 8 minutes, I wasn't buying that. I wasn't believing. So from them going from a third degree to a second, great. I agree with that. It should have been done a week ago, but hey, I'm not gonna be so harsh on that one, for instance. And then when my last video, I talked about how is it going to be ruled a homicide and then these other three officers are still walking at this current moment. It might have taken them a day and a half to get to, hey, we're finally going to arrest these guys and charge them. But at least they got there. And I was just like, how do both autopsies deem it a homicide and then these people are still getting off free? Like that Minnesota bill, these people could have, hey, get your knee off him. They could have gotten him off. They could have intervened, but they didn't. They were just okay with allowing this guy to have his knee on him for 8 minutes and eventually lost a black life. And not even that. And before all that, they were showing cameras that they were beating up George Floyd in the car. And like I said, they didn't help. They weren't being protectors. They were just going along with things, and that's not how you're supposed to be a cop. It's not how you're supposed to operate. I'm glad they're being charged. Hopefully they can get a jury that will give them the full conviction. I don't know how that works or how these things are with these situations. I don't know how that works or they are with these situations, but it's definitely something I need to keep an eye on, because it's one thing to be charged, it's another thing to be convicted. And with all the evidence and everything pointing to it, there needs to be 40-year conviction, because that's what second-degree murder can get you up to 40 years. And then with manslaughter, also he can get up a potential 15 years. So if he can serve 55 years in prison, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to get out and see that, because, you know, these guys are in their 30s or 40s. Even if they did get out, they wouldn't have a life to really enjoy. They'd be towards the end. So, you know, I'm a person, typically I want someone to get life in prison so they never have a chance. But if you're spending 55 years in prison, you're spending a vast majority of your life. Yeah, it's not a full victory. Yeah, George Floyd's not here. But if they all get convicted and are spending 55 years, this is the start of officers being held accountable. But it's not just about George Floyd. It's about all 50 states and how all these police departments operate, how they train their peoples, how they, you know, even look and approach black people. So this is more than just George Floyd. We need to have laws invoked. We need to have cops reformed. We need to have more cops held accountable. And just, if you think the protesting and stuff is going to go away just because of this, I don't think it is. I hope it isn't, because people are still mad and there's still injustice. They still want laws in place. They want to remove that cops are able to use a chokehold against civilians in general, because that's how Eric Garner died. So there's a lot of reform and a lot of changes needed to happen. This is the first step towards it. This is definitely positive, but let's not act like everything's good and we can keep going forward. These people need to be convicted, all 4 of them, up to 55 years. Cops need to be reformed, and some of these old cops that have all these complaints and stuff need to be looked at and potentially let go. They need to start holding these people more accountable. not giving these people free paydays when incidents occur. There needs to be third parties that are investigating what's going on with the cops and not just their main deputy. There's just so much that needs to go down or needs to be changed with the police department. It's not just going to be one instance. It's not just going to be one law. It's not going to be just one victory. It's not going to be just 4 cops being arrested and everything's okay. This is something that's going to take years. It's going to take a while, because this is systematic racism, and how to end systematic racism, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overday, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. So you guys let me know in the comment section, do you think all 4 of these officers are going to be tried to the maximum sentence of up to 55 years if they get second-degree murder and manslaughter? Do you think they might not be convicted? You still don't trust it? And how do you guys feel as far as, do you think protests are still going to be ongoing? You don't think people are going to stop? And do you see cop reforming or cop laws actually happening, or do you think these people are just saying one thing and actually mean another? That's what I'm saying. This is a wait and see, but this is definitely a positive day. So with Chris going forward, I'm giving you updates as soon as they happen. That's why you need to make sure you're subscribed, turn on the notification bell for all my videos. Like, comment, share this video with your friends if you enjoyed it. This Chris, I'm out this motherfucker.